Hello everybody, thanks for coming to my channel. I'm just now walking out of our second Airbnb place and going to walk down to the Lake Chapala, and fly my drone down there. That's my intention anyway. But I wanted to take this opportunity while I'm walking 2 or 3 blocks to get you up to date on what's been going on with Bud and Gloria Brown in Mexico. So this trip to Mexico started when I realized that my 1-week vacation in Guadalajara was definitely not enough time to get to know a place. So I've realized that when you first come to a place, it may take a week or even 2 weeks to get, settle down, get all the tourist places and all the newness out of the way. And then maybe from the second week on, you start sinking into the grassroots level, meeting the local people, and they've seen you several times and they know you're going to be here for a little while. So that's when I decided that I would take a month on this trip, and this time I would take Gloria with me because she's a deciding factor on where we live. I could live anywhere, but for Gloria's health and her condition, she's got severe arthritis in her left knee, and she needs to have several requirements. One, no stairs or upstairs apartments or places to stay. So when I looked on Airbnb, I looked for places that were just ground level, and there weren't too many of those, surprisingly, but I did find the ones that we're staying in now. So we took a flight from Guadalajara, took a flight from Tijuana Airport down to Guadalajara, and the plan was to take an Uber from Guadalajara Airport to Ajijic, where we're staying. Why did I choose Ajijic? And it also because of Gloria. She doesn't speak Spanish. She knows a couple of bad words, naturally, but she doesn't have a conversational level. So I wanted to choose a place that I knew was popular with Americans, Canadians, and English speakers. And from the YouTube videos, I saw that Ajijic had lots of English speakers there. So that's why I chose Ajijic. As you'll notice as we walk along this road, that there's like a wall right up to the sidewalk. But what's interesting about, I'm noticing all of Mexico, at least the places that I've been, behind that wall, there could be a house. You're walking straight into the living room, or it could open up into a field with a compound of houses, which is where I am right now, staying in. I'll show you that a little bit later. But Andrew took us to the place where we entered Mexico, which was a place called CBX, Cross Border Express, which is a very interesting place and a unique place, which is a tunnel/bridge that goes from the California-Mexico border. You enter there, and then as you walk through the bridge, you'll cross the border inside the bridge. And I took a picture, I hope I can find it and I'll show it to you, of Gloria standing on one side of the line and I'm standing on the other side of the line. She's in the US and I'm in Mexico. So we walked through that bridge, and there's a cost to go through it because there's a lot of stores, a lot of things that goes on there, meaning immigration forms and boarding passes and things like that you can get right there in the tunnel. It costs us $35 each to go round trip. They have turnstiles, kind of like going to a Subway or any place that has turnstiles. So we got in and it stops at Tijuana Airport, right inside. So we went in, we got our boarding pass, and went through them, and I had to fill out an immigration form. Now, when I went to Guadalajara, it was only 7 days, and I learned later that if you're staying 7 days or less, there's no fee, no cost. But if you're staying more than 7 days, which we are, it costs us $35. Now, let me see. Yeah, it costs us $35 each. So that was another cost. So border crossing costs $35 each. The immigration form costs us $35 each. So there's $150 right there before we even get going. So got in to the Tijuana Airport. We got our boarding pass. We waited at the gate, and I realized one thing that I would do next time. For some reason, I was thinking that there would be ATM for us to exchange, pull money out of my bank, and it would give us pesos, Mexican pesos. But there are no ATMs in the Tijuana Airport inside. So if I wanted to get pesos before we left, I would have had to go outside the airport and have to come in again through immigration. And that was a lesson that I learned. So Gloria did have some pesos that she took, fortunately, from my last trip. I brought home, and she put it in her purse. So we used that get us some water and some snacks. So we get on the plane. It was a 2.5 hour flight, 2.5 hour flight. And my plan was to go from the airport, catch an Uber to Ajijic. Well, another little surprise, Ubers are not allowed to pick up passengers from the airport. They can bring passengers to the airport from various places around Mexico, but they cannot, must be the taxi union or something. And so there was a young man there. We asked him, what are we going to do? He said, just take a taxi. Of course, I'm a little bit nervous about taxis because I've heard a lot of stories, not necessarily in Mexico, but from around the world about how taxis can rip you off. And so, I said, would you go ask for me, do me a favor and get the tickets for me, and then I'll pay you. Yeah, sure. So I stood right next to him as he went to this taxi station kiosk there inside the airport, asked how much to go to Ajijic, and she told him, and lo and behold, it was just about the same price as Uber was going to charge me, because ahead of time I saw that I checked on Uber to see if they would how much it would cost. Just $35. Of course, in pesos, about 500 pesos. So we paid for it there, and she gave us a receipt, and we walk outside, and we show there's a bunch of taxis out there. So I just kind of hold up the receipt and tell them we're going to Ajijic. And so the fella, that was it. Showed him the receipt. Gloria got in the back, I got in the front. Took about 35, 40 minutes to drive to Ajijic. But the interesting thing was, we got there about 11:30 in the evening. So it was dark, and I showed him the address, our Airbnb address, and we pulled up, and I said, I don't know how to get in. Now, in these Airbnbs, if you're not familiar with it, just before you go, they'll tell you exactly how do you get into the house or the accommodations. Sometimes there'll be a doorman or someone that's there in the establishment, and you check in with them and they let you in the room. Sometimes there's a combination on the door, and the host through Airbnb will give you the combination, and then you just go in. In our case, there's another thing which is common, is what they have, a lock box. It's a box on the door that has a combination, but instead of opening the door, you open the box and there's a set of keys there, and that's what this was. So we used the combination that he gave us, got the keys, and walked in the door. Well, as soon as we walked in the door, it's one of those houses that you're walking practically right into the living room. So I thought to myself, uh-oh, this living room extends right to the street. So I don't know how that's going to turn out, but we'll see. It turns out that a lot of horses, and I did a little video, and at first it was really cute, clippity-cloppity, clippity-cloppity, and I thought it was a rare instance, but evidently it's very common. Horses, for some reason, going down that street. And also there were people that were drinking. There's a liquor store right next door, and they, were drinking and hooping and hollering. So fortunately, I did a good thing. I had only reserved that particular place for 1 week, because I said to myself, I know in the Philippines, you don't really know a neighborhood unless you've been there 24, 48 hours, or even over the weekend, because it could be noisy like this one was. Could be dogs, could be karaoke, could be a lot of things that we don't want in a place to stay. So after 1 week, we moved out, and by the way, we called it a taxi. Seemed like all the taxi drivers, and we've had about 6 or 7 of them, there's a standard fee to go around the city. It was 70 pesos, about $3.50, something like that. $4, maybe $4. But anyway, they all have a card, and they'll give you their card with the phone number on it. So we called the taxi driver. He came, got us, and took us to our second Airbnb, where we are now. When we open this door, it opens up into a nice compound. So our house, as you can see, that we're staying in, we really like it. I mean, it's like a little suite. It's got nice kitchen and living room combination. Then it walks into another bedroom, and that walks into a bathroom. So we really like it. Of course, we paid quite a bit more for it. It was $580 for 2 weeks. So I may mention that the prices here are quite a bit more than I was hoping. I thought they would be cheaper, but they tell me because of all the foreigners here, prices go up and up and up, and because foreigners, most of them can afford it, they pay it without squawking. So, I mean, it is a capitalistic business, so the more money you make, the happier the landlords are. But anyway, we're very happy with where we are here. We've been here 1 week in this place. We've got 1 more week to go, and then we're going to move to, I thought I'd try something different. And if I was by myself, I would spend the whole time in this situation, and that is renting a room in a house that a family lives in. So the last week that we're here, we're going to be in a house, in a room, but the thing that sold me on it was that it has its own private bathroom. And so that makes it even better for Gloria, that it's ground level, even though it's a nice big bedroom, and it has its own private bathroom. We'll be staying in a house with the family. So I kind of like that idea. Okay, we're going to be coming up on the lake here. I have my backpack with my drone in it. I'll be getting it out and taking some drone shots about this drone shots on the lake here, Lake Chapala. Alrighty.
Home point updated. Takeoff. Home point updated. Battery level is low. Aircraft will return to the home point in 10 seconds.